Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pass them through me like talk sorry. Some last speaker I like talk yet. That's all you may missing up. Sabusem police law government parliament. You can sit down here talk. But we also coming back to parliament on the 10th of January. If this parliament pleases, you may, Mr. Speaker, if you indulge, we can ask him for debate along this budget in another form can continue on, especially on matters law. You may outside can steer him ship good together law make him country he run good long road law can run law make him people seem good looks away. Mr. Speaker, me like Pastor M talk thank you law treasurer law Sidan law Francia making work logan. Me also looks away long opposition spokesman law treasury. Number two opposition leader, me make him talk blow and finish. Now some blow talk him talk, me play kiss him, now consider him. Me also looks out talk blow opposition leader, or some blow talk him talk, me play kiss him, consider him. One time all the commentaries made by members of parliament, where in fact in every parliament calendar year, budget occasion is the biggest occasion, apart from time where government is formed. Because every budget is a culmination of one ME working finish. Now one ME working again on nuclear year. So the clearest exposure or government policy intent. I'm planning to talk about some government policy no stop. Well, budget documents is a statement of intent that you may match him one time money allocation so that next year's work program can start now run. So one time this plan me like to thank you to the treasurer and the Secretary for the Department of Treasury, Secretary Andrew Oeka, one time Tim Logan, the Treasury, the tireless work long all. We like also to thank you, Lo Minister of Finance, Planning, Tim Antab long Ulub in the House, Secretary of Finance, Secretary of Treasury, Secretary of Planning, I beg your pardon. Mr. Speaker, we like also talk thank you long Tim Blomi long Department of Prime Minister, and in the leadership of Secretary Ambassador Pomalio. Time we come back, we were able to look deeper into one and treasury current companies, and we were able to locate a billion kina extra to throw into what is now being found here. And this billion, we like also talk thank you. I cannot get all the glory and credit from the Prime Minister's office. We like talk thank you again long all hard working line long IRC, na customs. Only work hard in this time. And for my Prime Minister, the oil price went up, that's all. Yes, oil price too went up. But suppose no got wasman, na wasmeri, no land block collecting good revenue. This block work in on up Karem Kaikai, na even up some additional revenue this year. About 3 billion additional revenue mix him this year. 1 billion extra come as a result of efficiency, blow IRC na customs. I mean like looks out along all workman blow IRC na customs. And I need law leadership long Mr. Koim and Mr. David Toy. All is start law increasing efficiency law system. Now I mean come up nothing too. Last year and a year before, Treasurer and team blame law government he start law giving more support go along all beef him up. Financial system long all down below, long collecting more money. Now me looks out on this blood workman blame me start long IRC in customs. Thank you for faithfulness for work long all. Now all is start long increasing efficiency long collection. Me also looks out along all the taxpayers blame the country. This year only pay him good tax, only pay him good revenue, now some assistance where you may make him, lo here, lo this flow, and by like kiss him, consider him, now spin him into our government policy processes, and hopefully early next year time you may starting work along running government, some lo this consideration, lo revenue measure, where me start lo make him. Me like give him belly seal on country. Talk where me play commit long people, not just the election, but time you may come back now form him government, you may try him to translate him, now put him all main thing go inside long budget, including running more recurrent activities and focus on make him country let me go big get up, get going and moving in the right place. And me like re-emphasizing some of this thing. Now talk me play talk. When I first took office in May 30th, 2019, some of the punchlines we use, take back PNG, making PNG the richest black Christian nation on earth, bring him economy to indicate that we are working towards a space, bring him economy go along 200 billion kin economy within the next 10 years. Mr. Speaker, this will talk in a talk so. Go and read him Vision 2050, where Papa Somare he launched him long 2009 or 10. Let me talk by 2050, our country must be in the top 50 nation on the face of planet Earth. It talks about us, healthy, wealthy, and wise. What's wrong with national leaders dreaming their country to be rich? What's wrong? Rich Emblo, Australia tasol. Rich Emblo, China tasol. Rich Emblo, America tasol. What's wrong with leader of the country? Must dream on the country blown must come up rich. That you make oil, gold, gas, copper, timber, or something. And so we made a national statement. That's the destination our country must be. And we are trying to walk that path towards the destination. Vision 2050 talk finish. Maybe condensing come in a 10-year program. By the end of 2029, 2030, we must be a 200 billion kin economy. Mr. Speaker, guess what? When we took office in 2019, our economy was an 80 billion kin economy. Don't downplay these statistics because the macroeconomic framework hinges on the size of the economy. 2018, it was an 80 billion kin economy. If I were to be specific, it was a 79.6 billion kin economy. Today, not my statistics. Look at IMF report. They focus the economy next year to be 113 billion kin economy. In tough time, using strategic deficit budget as a tool, we maintained stimulus in the economy, kept the economy functional. The other alternate, Mr. Speaker, was simply fold your hand, do nothing, maintain a balanced budget, and when you maintain a balanced budget, we go into worse stagnation. We go into deeper recession. Mr. Speaker, balanced budget simply means, and I was hearing someone mentioning balanced budget on the other side. You spend what you generate. You spend what you generate. Mr. Speaker, if we were to spend what we generate, in 2019, we would have spent only 13 billion kina. Mr. Speaker, 13 billion kina. If I were to point you, what is our total revenue or expenditure? Expenditure of the country in 2019, let me sit down around 17.8 billion kina. So you got revenue blue, 13 billion kina, Mr. Speaker. You got expenditure call, cash call on expenditure, paying public servant, paying teacher. One side you like more teacher, more police, more housing, more road, more school. But our expenditure in 2019, before COVID-19 come inside, set at 17.8 billion kina. Now revenue limit stop 13 billion kina. So what do? What is the alternate? Well, you go out there on a sustainable pathway, sustainable deficit pathway. That's what we embarked upon. The situation was exacerbated. Let me go big more time COVID-19 hit in 2020. James Marape or Yen Staki or you know responsible for COVID-19. And so we still maintain the discipline, but we went within a sustainable level of deficit. Mr. Speaker, brother Lomi, friend Lomi, member of Yelu Pangia, Emma's got sick long Alzheimer's, or Emma's got sick long amnesia. Medical term of forgetfulness of the past, especially one of something you worked in before. Mr. Speaker, before time here, me talk to Marape no got. You plug looking one plug. Me quote him this plug. www.devpolicy.org/PNG economics. And one plug page long. Australia National University na Papua New Guinea to bla partner long looks how the economy and how economy of Papua New Guinea run. You know talk about treasury blame me. I'm talking about all Australia National University, the UPNG, to be a partner or running economic model, believe me. In all the modeling or look from 2002 coming up to 2022, brother, and forget they've got sick or forgetfulness. The entire period I'm running country, the economy was in deficit, serious deficit decline. And it started amazingly, coincidentally, in a missed up, meeting him. how stupid we were in 2014. It started with the trigger of the UBS deal. 2014, when we were supposed to go up, we sank over 3 billion kina into a deal that was the biggest mistake we ever made in our country's life. UBS. And from that time on, instead of recover, we spiraled out of control into a deficit hole that we are now trying to dig out of. And last 2 years, COVID-19 no help. Last 2 years, Ukraine war no help, but thank God, we are trying our best to come out. And this like history and stuff. Stop place clear. You know, James Marape writing. You go to Australian National University, you look in record. You go to UPNG, look in record. Go to NRI, look in record. Go to Treasury, look in record. Go to IMF, World Bank, look in record. How the last government and managing economy underneath lo time people assembly stop one time upside. Last 3 years, you be trying to help. People help resuscitate him and bring him economy come back. And part of this, some work in me making finish, we are trying to get it moving in the right place, Mr. Speaker. The 2024 budget is a budget that addresses a couple of things. Keeping economy alive is one of our major focus in our 2023 budget. But some responsible budget indicator, is top. You look at me planning more than 20% revenue. But me plan to increase expenditure by a matching 20% expenditure. No God. Treasurer was responsible. I am no increasing expenditure by the same amount. Revenue increased by 20%, increasing expenditure by 20%. No God. Revenue below Treasurer increased by 20.9%. Expenditure below Treasurer increased by 10.8%. Now you ask me, where does the balance go? The balance go along is like 1 billion kina less in deficit. A deficit at a 5 billion kina plus to a now deficit at a 4 billion kina plus. All sticking within main thinking blow you or come back to a balanced budget by 2027 and go along positive trajectory from 2027, go onwards into the future. So, Mr. Speaker, we are not economic imbeciles running this economy. And I repeat, we are not economic imbeciles running this economy. To the critics out there, not just my brothers on the opposite, they seem to be offering a fairer, balanced view than critics on the outside. Read the numbers that is prevalent. Don't read Facebook or don't read WhatsApp commentators from some people who try to claim from government, and just because we cannot pay their claim, they sit on the other side, they're mouthing off. Look at numbers, World Bank numbers, ADB numbers, IMF numbers. In tough times, against a global backdrop of tough out there, we're trying our best to maintain composure in the economy. And the programs we're embarking upon is simple. Paying our bills, retiring areas, increase allocation to law and justice sector, keeping our education and our children's school fee paid, making sure our health programs are being supported and being run. The way we've delivered budget in the last 3 years, you see growth in our headline numbers at a 4% plus 3 years in a row. That is above global average. Global average growth in tough economic times is below 3%. Our growth is about 4%. In tough times, I want to give commendation to Treasury and his team. You can run the economy in good times and siphon off money through schemes like UBS. But in tough times, you need real men to sit down and anchor the economy and ensure we sail composed into calmer waters into the future. And the Treasurer has done very well. His budget here, without going on and on, is all about growing the economy. You ask me, where in the budget, where are you growing economy? Papua New Guinea, me like talking people, 100 million, Treasurer put him, long buy more land. Me talk big plus sorry long all papa, all ground blue me long city where me pull up, squatter settlement, man Mary, bam go come. Treasurer put him money long, buy him ground long cities, towns, as well as ground long partnering, Usad Papa ground, you got ground long Makam, you got ground long Ramu, you got ground long Sipik, East and West New Britain, plenty of Nambis Lumi ground slip. You know, long Waita Sol, long 1 or 2 sector, we want you to go big time into commercial agriculture. One time this like ground money, people putting money long state equity option, 100 million kina plus. Long Usad you like come up investor, long forestry downstream, agriculture, look, any other business in our country, state has that partnership money put into the equity option money, people put them inside. Look, clearing low economic sector, clearing power blackout, clearing more water supply. For the first time, no government in the past ever has put money to state-owned enterprises. This year, 100 million, last year, 100 million, next year, 200 million, people put him. Minister of State Enterprise, na team block, and hopefully in 2-3 years' time, PNG power blackouts would be something of the past. This is government investing in needs that we have been carrying so long in our economy, so long in our country. No one has ever made an attempt to fix those issues in a serious way. We have been just like we are cleaning up in the last few years. Mr. Speaker, you look long price support program run yet. You look long freight subsidy program run yet. You look long money people put in SME. And today I received a text from Mr. Robin Fleming. Let me talk. People give him all 200 million tasol, or lending finish 250 million kina at low lending rate, SME rates go along over more than 200 Papua New Guinean businesses. Mr. Speaker, people not talk tasol, people put the money long time growing economy as we speak at the same time. To talk about growing economy, the infrastructures we're building, Mr. Speaker, they're geared towards unbundling and growing economy and complement our focus in a diversified economy, a growing economy. These infrastructures that we want to run at the national level through Connect PNG and the big Connect PNG focus. Namilak, Beke Wambla Liglik Tok long Susa Blomi, Governor Blong Central. My sister, you know, can worry long, all issue long, people come squatter or land blow, natpla. You know, can worry long, issue long, all inside migration. As we work the law and justice sector and work the economy into the future, I am certain going forward, this land will not be liabilities to our people in central and our people in coastal areas, but this land will be an asset. This, I beg your pardon, this Connect PNG program will be an asset to our country because linking country opening up allows for trade and free flow of goods and services. You only have to look at Ley. Ley has been living with, and Marape has been living with Highlands for the last how many years? Is Ley always in a serious crisis? Ley is not always in a serious crisis. Workload law and order issue today. Police must step up, and we're putting serious money for the first time. Police and the police commissioner has been put on notice that he has to deliver to this program, government, rebuilding law and justice sector here. So the infrastructure commitment is fixed, not just on road. We got programs running for ports and all our major ports in our country. Madang, Ley, Kimbe, Kokopo, Keviang, Manus, Alatau, Popondetta, Wewak, they all, and Vanimo, they all have programs running for these major ports. I only have to look at Kikori and Daru to lift it up. We will then have almost 100% coverage in all our ports in our country, linked and refurbished so that they become bigger, better to carry the load in as far as our economy, commerce, and trade is concerned. So, Mr. Speaker, you know, me like shift go along, or talk along fisheries and forestry. Fisheries and forestry, you may get money me put in for the first time, Medang maritime industry will carry on. And of course, our others focus in other fisheries areas, Rabaul, Manus, all this blah, running. Next year, you may still put him on top. 50 million blong PMI jet must get going at the very earliest. Talk of forestry, me harem clear, some blah talk, some blah issue come, but me like giving belly silo, or in the forest sector. In December, January, we will consult, we will meet you. You no need long porret. You start want a mibla penis. Join government and partners to go big time into the downstream processing space. Go big time. Mibla no come, no kill him you. We want to work with you. If you feel this is a penalty, this is a tax, and up to us. Government is opening up our arms big time into downstream processing space. We'll give first consideration to those who are already in our country. And we look into other policy, long banisim land on a benefit, so they no go down, but go on top more yet. So this is like takis mblapim, now you feel him heavy to mass. State, me by walk long, state marketing option, and me can buy more DY. Now, Miss Salim, you cut him taso. One price you declare him at $80, $90, $100, I'll pay you that price. You go cut him. So you remember meet na sila na talk to all this blah. Big price declaration blah you declaring for the last 10 years miss away. So I'll pay you that price. State will exercise our state marketing option right next year, and that we might expand. So whatever you go cut him, you don't need to sip him now. Sip him, but what me plus sip him. You cut him or sell him lo mill, lock pond plus state. And you go back and I'll deal with my landowners and I'll deal with the provincial government. So we'll go into that space. But I want to assure the forest industry, it may seem tough on you. Hold on to your horses. We will sit down and have deep engagement in this matter. And Treasurer, wrongly making, maybe it's a jump start and jolt for the downstream processing at the very earliest to take place in forestry. I said 2025 we'll move into this space. We are maybe jump starting this sector to look into what we can do. And I'll have a session with you with the forest minister and with the treasurer, and we will look. We don't mean to offend you, we don't mean to kill you, but we want to encourage you to grow together. Our focus on SME remains na mila asking mogara papa ground blo milong country. Whether you power ground blo DY, power blo fish, power blo oil or gas, or power agriculture. No can sinan na crack na folly man or some sambla or think tank or folly man ta song stablo mosby la year. Go back lo ground 200 million kina stop people put them again. But look at policy so that easy accessibility by ordinary Papua New Guineans is freed up, and our partnership with BSP or NDB, and we're also looking at expanding this program to other lenders in our country, making Belly, Silo, Yumi, or Papa Ground. You said you stop right throughout the country. You can go into the SME space, and together we partner, grow our business. And I'm just thinking, running up a crazy number, Mr. Speaker. What if 1 million Papua New Guinean family produce him 10,000 kina worth of agriculture? Agriculture, you may think I'm hard, so let me see. For coffee, to get 10,000 kina worth of coffee is only 15 bag at present price. 15 bag coffee, 50 kg bag at present price, that's 11,500. If 1 million Papua New Guinean family go into the space of agriculture and produce, and you ask in the districts buy, and they produce at minimum 10 million kina each, that's a 10 billion kina economy we're building right to our people. Mr. Speaker, you may pay him free education now, from elementary going up to university. You may make him housing, you may like give him housing service, you go right, you may make him road, but me like ask him, or people in the country. Legally go workman Mary, you may ask him tax law up to 20,000 pennies. One employee old man Mary Lord country to work him. Now government put in money, Lord support him, buy him right price. Government put in money, Lord make him transport subsidy, transportation come Lord or marketplace. Me ask him all people me Lord contribute to the economy too if all can go back to ground. Now me ask him you all members of parliament in your DDAs and your provinces have a keen interest in having buying points in your district or in your provinces, and let us participate in this sector. Mr. Speaker, all manners of allocation we've made in our budget is intended to making our country bigger, better as we grow forward. We've assisted household incomes. You may give me subsidy to all Papa Mama, based on last year and this year allocation together, over 1 billion kina worth of assistance. You may give him last year and this year. And this we are ready to work. And Mila conclude by asking, you may get a big allocation alone, but Karam Kaike is supposed to take him good. And I want to give this parliament, through this parliament, assurance along all people of this country. We will resuscitate the National Monitoring Authority, long work, one-time central government. Now provincial governments, lo sekim also all this intention blow you long running also work throughout the country, emi karem kaikai next year. And next year, suppose you making work good, should set in pace long 2024, 2025, 2026. I look forward for 2023 budget being a trigger of a further expansion of our economy, especially shifting away from just relying on oil and gas and mining, but you may go inside along other sectors of economy that is our inherent strength. And me ask him, all the members of parliament, whilst Treasurer, he may not have presented perfect budget to the Ting Bloimi 1-1, but within the circumstances that he was faced, within the envelope of resource we have, within the focus of government Miblagat in terms of what we want to do for the country, to make our economy bigger, to make our health more improved, to focus on bringing more of our kids back to school, to focus on connecting PNG, to focus on a better law and order environment, Treasurer has structured this budget. We will have the National Monitoring Authority review the performance of the budget next year. I ask all members of parliament, it is a fair budget. Doesn't consider whether you're in the opposite or you're in government side. We try to be fair on everyone. We will retire our full commitment for 2022, as we've done in the last few years. And we will focus on delivering 2023 budget January 1st. On word go from day one, January 1st, 2023, we'll try to get his budgets being ticked off. I ask you all, let's support our treasurer. It is not overemphasized. Our oil price, we focus on $82 for next year. Our gold price, modest focus next year. There's enough space to cater for buffer. If time we go hard next year, this budget has enough versatility and flexibility to address if the economy goes bad. But if the economy goes good, as forecasted for next year, we hope that this budget will carry us to a better, safer time in the close of next financial year for us. Mr. Speaker, with this, let me say thank you very much to yourself for hosting us. There's a little bit of increase to you as you run our parliament next year. There's a little bit of increase to the judiciary as our court system and magistrate services run our court systems next year. There's a little bit of increase or consistent supply and a little bit more to our relatives in Bougainville as we work to retire and honor their full commitments. And we, in our external services, we have increased a little bit more to pay for all our foreign services so that they don't shut down, they keep and they're functional. All in all, this budget tries to honor all our inherent needs as well as our future need. Mr. Speaker, on this note, I commend this budget to this House to support, and we will work with you all. Mind you, if anything needs to be addressed, Treasurer always has Section 4 powers in the Public Finance Management Act to have a handle on them going forward. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.